Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, it doesn't waste a single second. The opening scene, it's an absolute masterclass in setting the stage for a political firestorm. We're dropped right into a city that's about to boil over, and this scene lays all the groundwork for the conspiracy and conflict that's coming our way.
So, picture this. We're on a crowded street in ancient Rome. It's supposed to be a party. It's the Feast of Lupercal, after all. You've got people everywhere dressed in their best clothes, ready to celebrate. But something feels off. You can almost feel it in the air. This tension just simmering right below the surface, and it is about to boil over.
And that brings us to the big question right out of the gate. I mean, it's a festival, a holiday. So why on earth are these guys about to get arrested? Why is there this instant clash between the regular folks and the guys in charge? The answer to that is what lights the fuse for the entire play.
Okay, so who's stirring up the trouble? Well, we meet our first characters. Two tribunes named Flavius and Morellus. Now, you can basically think of these guys as high-level officials, kind of like cops on patrol, making sure everything's in order. And let me tell you, they are not happy with what they're seeing on this street.
So what's the big deal? Well, here's the thing. Even though it's a festival, it's also technically a workday. And there's a law, a really clear one. If you're a manual worker, you have to be in your work clothes when you're in the street on a workday. But this crowd? Nope. They're all decked out in their holiday best, just hanging out. This isn't just them taking a day off. This is a statement. It's an act of defiance.
And Flavius, he doesn't hesitate for a second. He just wades right into the crowd and lets them have it. Right away, Shakespeare shows us who these guys are. They're in charge, and they are angry. To them, this isn't a party. It's chaos. It's a complete breakdown of law and order.
So, the tribunes start grilling a few of the commoners, trying to figure out what's going on, but they're not getting any straight answers. Oh no. Instead, they run into this one guy, a local cobbler, who is an absolute master of wordplay, and he's about to run circles around them.
So Flavius just grabs this guy and gets right in his face. "What's your job?" he demands. He's trying to trap him, right? Trying to prove that he should be working, not lounging around in his nice clothes. It's a total power move, challenging the guy's right to even be there.
But the cobbler's response? Oh, it's just perfect. He says he's a mender of souls. So, wait a minute. Is he talking about the soles of shoes or the souls of men? It's so clever. It's this deliberately fuzzy answer that's totally designed to poke fun at the officials without, getting them immediately thrown in jail.
The tribunes aren't having it, so they push him for a real answer. And what does the cobbler do? He doubles down. He offers to mend the tribune himself, basically saying, "Hey, I can fix that bad attitude of yours." It's such a cheeky thing to say to a powerful official, and yeah, it just makes Morellus even more furious.
And then comes the punchline. They demand to know what he means, and he says he'll cobble him. Now, to cobble can mean to make shoes, sure, but it can also mean to just messily patch something up. The crowd gets it instantly. They erupt in laughter. The cobbler totally won that little exchange, and it just perfectly highlights that tension bubbling between the powerful and the common folk.
Okay, but after all the jokes and puns are done, the cobbler finally gets serious. He reveals why everyone's actually out celebrating. And just like that, the whole vibe of the scene changes. It gets dark, fast.
And here it is, the big reveal. They're not just skipping work. They've created their own holiday for a very specific reason, to celebrate Julius Caesar. He's just returned to Rome in triumph after defeating his biggest rival, Pompey. So you see, this isn't just a party. This is a political rally for Caesar.
And this is what makes Morellus absolutely lose it, because he remembers. He remembers it wasn't that long ago that these exact same people were lining the streets, cheering their heads off for the very man Caesar just defeated, Pompey. Great Pompey, they called him. Their loyalty? It's flipped on a dime.
That's it. That's the final straw for Morellus. He just erupts. He unleashes this wave of pure fury on the crowd, shaming them for being so fickle, so ungrateful.
And he hits them with one of the most brutal lines in the whole scene. He's not just calling them dumb. He's literally dehumanizing them, calling them worse than senseless things. He's accusing them of having no hearts, of being cruel for celebrating the defeat of a man they used to worship.
And his anger just keeps building. He paints this picture for them, reminds them of how they used to climb up on walls and rooftops, holding their babies, waiting all day just to get a glimpse of Pompey's chariot. He asks them, how can your cheers that were once so loud they made the Tiber River shake, how can they now be for the man who comes home covered in Pompey's blood?
He's basically screaming at them, "You're celebrating a civil war. You're celebrating a Roman killing other Romans." And you know what? It works. His speech hits home. The crowd just melts away. And in the silence that's left behind, Flavius and Marolus reveal what they're really up to. This is the moment a public argument turns into a private conspiracy.
Yep, they just vanish. Tongue-tied in their guiltiness, as Shakespeare puts it, they're shamed into silence. So, okay, the tribunes won this public showdown, but their real work? It's only just getting started.
And right here, this is where the first seeds of the conspiracy are planted. Flavius lays out their plan. They're going to split up, drive anyone left off the streets, and, this is the big one, they're going to tear down all the decorations on the statues that celebrate Caesar, any trophies in his honor. They're actively trying to sabotage his public image.
And then we get the final line that explains everything. This isn't just about some broken law or being loyal to Pompey's memory. This is about fear, plain and simple. Flavius and Marillus are genuinely terrified. They think Caesar's popularity is going to let him fly so high that he becomes a tyrant, keeping all of them in a state of servile terror.
So there you have it. In just the first few minutes of the play, Shakespeare gives us a city that is completely divided. He takes a simple argument on the street and spins it into the very beginning of a conspiracy. And it leaves us with the one critical question that's going to hang over everything that happens next. How far will they go? How far will these men, and the others who think like them, go to stop one man's seemingly unstoppable rise to power?